Last week, we uploaded part 1 of our ranking of every recurring character on Family Guy, and it's finally time for part 2. Starting things off with Cleveland Jr., who's barely been used since returning to his hometown.
You ever feel the cool steel of a switchblade pressed against your temple?
Cleveland's son sure has come a long way, to the point where his past and current self look like completely different people.
I'm gonna be on a cereal box. Honeycomb pig. Yeah.
Seems like the kid may have gotten into the anti-Ozempic. But Junior wasn't much of a character before the Cleveland show, but once that happened, Junior became a star. Well, comparatively speaking, of course.
I'm alert, I have tons of energy, and my poo came out with no tears.
Junior achieved main character status, but when he was moved back to Quahog, he fell right back into the background.
Mr. Griffin, you shot me!
Oh my God!
It's rare for getting shot to be the best thing that could happen to a kid, but in Junior's case, it's his only moment of importance in the show since season 12. At least he's had more lines than his step-siblings combined. But whether it be hyperactive pre-Cleveland show Junior or currently rotund Junior, he's still going in the D tier due to lack of characterization and noticeable impact on the show. But Neil Goldman has made a significant impact on Meg's life, though probably not for the better.
What's got 4 arms, 4 legs, and 1 set of lips? You and me at the winter snowball.
The son of Mort Goldman has been lusting after Meg since his inception. And look, I gotta hand it to the kid, he's got way more confidence than his dad. Misplaced confidence, but confidence nonetheless.
I couldn't wait for you forever. Besides, Cecilia thinks my psoriasis is sexy.
But this dorky walking advertisement for bullying never gives up the pursuit of Meg, who sometimes returns the feeling when she's feeling desperate enough.
Here, hold still. Make a wish.
Is it possible to think two people are perfect for each other, yet you never want to see them interacting for fear of vomiting? And while many of Neil's most notable moments happen in the earlier seasons, he still serves as either a reliable love interest or annoyance for Meg when he's needed, so we're gonna stick him in the C tier. But some characters are liked for how unreliable they are, which can be said about Jim Kaplan, Quahog's shiftiest salesman.
I was gonna try to sell you some handsome cream, but I can see you already bought out the store.
He's one of those guys who can make anything sound like it's worth buying. Volcano insurance, a junk car, a tank. Okay, the tank kind of speaks for itself. Don't really gotta sell me on that one.
I'm still not sure.
Did I mention the tank is a tank?
Sold.
The character hasn't really done much of note in the past several years, which is a shame because we think he brings a lot of silly antics to the show. He's kind of like the evil version of Bruce, a guy who can fill any job in town but who's out to swindle you rather than softly ramble about nonsense.
Everyone who wants to win this dirt bike, come on up and put a hand on it!
So we really want to put this guy in the B tier. Sure, he's not a huge character, but whenever he shows up to sell something suspicious, it always puts a smile on our face. And he sold me my brand new teeth, so I should be smiling as much as I can. But we were never really sold on Horus, the original owner of the Drunken Clam bar.
Florida stunk. Alligator mounted me when I wasn't looking. Laid eggs in my lower intestine.
If only Horus could have been as interesting as the things he said happened to him. The veteran bartender was often quick to serve up some ales for the fellas, but didn't really serve up many laughs.
I'm not sure, but I think I've been shot. Yep.
So I'm not saying Horus needed to die. I'm not saying I did backflips while confetti rained from the sky while the song Celebration played. Mostly because I can't do a backflip.
Let's put some leaves on him and go get some ice cream.
But truthfully, we prefer Jerome over Horus as the Clam's proprietor. Horus is a vintage Family Guy character, but for us, we're gonna have to put him in the D tier. And speaking of vintage characters, there's perhaps no standout side character quite like the evil monkey living in Chris's closet.
No!
Seriously, what kind of cocktail of coffee, lack of sleep, and potentially illegal substance do you have to be on to come up with that? It's such a random, out there, throwaway line that actually seemed to turn into a fan favorite.
I am in no mood!
He was kind of the embodiment of the show's wackiness and absurdity. Did it make sense? Well, it doesn't have to if it's funny. But even the show realized they could only do so much with the character, so they at least gave him a pretty good send-off.
I think that time of my life is over, Chris. But I'll always remember you.
I can't believe they treat some of their joke characters better than some of their main ones. Anyway, the monkey's gonna go in the B tier because while he's played a very minor role, it was undeniable that he was a staple of the show's image back in the day. And another staple of the show is Dr. Elmer Hartman, the Griffin's family doctor who probably needs to have his medical license looked over again.
Well, that's the craziest thing. Oh, now I'm sure this isn't the glove drawer.
Every trip to the hospital is bound to be on the spectrum of wacky and negligent with this guy. It doesn't help that he does not know how to deliver medical news.
This doesn't look very good at all.
Oh,
My nephew drew my portrait. It doesn't look a thing like me. I mean,
Look, you know I always support a guy committing to the bit no matter what, but maybe the medical field isn't the best place for that.
oh my God, she's dying!
What?
Oh, sorry, I was watching this Paula Poundstone comedy special.
Can't lie though, it is a good bit. But he's nothing if not versatile, capable of doing everything from gender reassignment surgery to plastic surgery.
Is it a simple procedure?
Oh, sure. We just break every bone in his face and then smush him back into position.
You won't get this kind of down-to-earth bluntness from just any doctor, which is probably a good thing now that I think about it. I'm not sure if he's ever the right man for the job, but man do his scenes make me laugh. We're giving the good doctor a B ranking because he be making us smile. See, we've got the kind of bad jokes that would make me a great doctor. If anyone wants some quadruple bypasses, just hit us up. And next is the guy we're sure a few people have met after one of Hartman's surgeries, Death, aka the Grim Reaper.
Thank God I get to hang out with a fascinating gent like yourself.
Who knew the Reaper of Souls was such a whiny brat? But that's why we love him. He's bored with his job and treats life and death like just another Tuesday.
Hey, Death, what are you doing here?
Me? Oh, I'm here 'cause of that.
He's essentially an all-powerful janitor. All he wants is a little love and affection, which is a little hard when a single touch from him kills you.
Anyone?
His dry humor and pathetic self-loathing have made the character a legend in my eyes, so we feel pretty confident putting Death in the A tier of characters. Now bring the guy back! It's been like 10 seasons! More Death! Death to Family Guy! Everyone, post the hashtag Death to Family Guy everywhere you can. They need to know we want this character back. And Tom, I'm standing here ready to report on our next character, Quahog 5 News' Trisha Takanawa.
I'm sorry, your time is up.
In case you didn't know, she's Asian. And the show will not let you forget that, as it's even in her job title.
Let's go live to Asian flu correspondent Trisha Takanawa. Trisha?
Diane, I'm...
But Trisha is still one of Quahog's finest reporters, sometimes delving deep into a story just to get to the truth.
And there you have it, Channel 5 News audience.
That's what journalism is missing nowadays. Someone brave enough to sleep with an old man to learn his illegal business secrets. Sometimes the best undercover reporting happens literally under the covers.
What kind of person would do that, you might ask? Well, I'm about to find out.
She's a staple of the series, though she's not exactly one of the more exciting or standout characters. We do like her, but we think she's gonna settle into the B tier for us. Back to you, Tom. But if you're looking for an exciting standout character, look no further than the greatest mayor of all time, Adam West.
Adam West, Adam West.
Designed after the character's voice actor of the same name, Mayor West often irresponsibly spends taxpayer money. But look, he's a man of the arts. Can you really say art is a waste?
I can think of no greater tribute to their memories than this solid gold statue of Diggum.
Who needs city infrastructure when you've got that? But despite the fact he's definitely not qualified to run a city, he's still loved by many and even ends up marrying Lois's sister Carol.
I think that's your shopping list.
No, these are my vows. They're all the reasons why I'll always love you.
So this kinda makes him a part of the Griffin family. I'd say he definitely has the intelligence, or lack thereof, to fit in just nicely.
My God, I'm a tomato!
But he's easily one of the most wacky, silly characters the show has to offer, and the fact that he's portrayed by the actual Adam West just makes it even better.
This is how we did that. Bet you didn't know.
The dude's a legend, and we don't think he deserves anything less than an S rank. He's by and large one of the best side characters in the whole show, and every day without him just feels like something's missing. At least we'll always have that statue of him in that game no one plays. But a long-term character who really doesn't feel like a legend is Babs Pewterschmidt, Lois's mother and the wife of Carter.
Honey, we're rich again. I divorced Ted Turner and took half his money. We own half of CNN.
Between her and Carter, Babs is a bit more of the responsible and understanding one. Well, as understanding as you can be when you have more money than the sky has stars. She's also the only one of the two who actually likes Peter somewhat.
You know, Peter, you and I are not so different.
You struggle to get a too?
And for a millionaire, she doesn't seem to make it her whole personality like Carter does. But don't you dare try to take that money away.
Oh my God, Daddy!
Who told Carter he could give away our money?
Kinda wish she'd bring more of that energy to the table, then maybe she'd get a higher ranking. Honestly, she feels like a D character, not really fulfilling much of a role beyond Carter's wife, while not delivering on any real memorable moments. But her husband Carter, owner of Pewter Schmidt Industries, is quite the opposite, often serving as one of the show's most entertaining bad guys.
It's nice.
It's early Etruscan.
Oh, get out of here.
No, seriously.
Oh, that's great.
There is perhaps no one who hates Peter more than Carter, and can you blame him? This dum-dum captured the heart of his baby girl, and that's something no money can buy off. He would know. He's tried.
Lois may be worth $1 million to you, but to me, she's worthless. I love her, Mr. Pewterschmidt.
Well, if you gotta have him as your son-in-law, you might as well make use of the free punching bag.
I knew I couldn't depend on you! You're not worthy to lick my designer shoes, you fat lowlife slob!
But when he's not terrorizing, he can be found making everyone's life much worse, from ruining Christmas...
Why did you cancel a Christmas carnival?
Because I hate Christmas.
...to keeping the literal cure to cancer a secret from the world.
Why cure someone of cancer in a day if we can treat them for a lifetime and bill them every step along the way?
That's the kind of evil that would make even the devil's Beelzebub pucker. Rarely is Carter found doing the right thing, but that just makes him one of the best antagonists the show has seen. So we think he's got a spot in the A tier, which is fitting because A is the exact type of hole he is, and that's why we love him. But while Carter may be the devil on Earth, Jesus might just be the second coming of Christ. Wait a minute.
I know you were expecting something else, but as science will tell you, people were a lot shorter 2,000 years ago.
Yes, the Son of God himself has graced the series many a time. Ironically though, his appearances don't exactly bring a lot of grace.
Last time I was down here on Earth, I only hung around with one.
Yeah, Jesus' portrayal is kinda, well, it makes you understand why he got nailed to a big piece of wood.
He just acts lonely and lies about being a so he can get with guys' wives.
Yeah, he's far from how he's portrayed in his memoir, but his presence undoubtedly leads to some memorable moments, like when he taught Peter how to fight to take on some mean choir boys.
You're gonna beat the crap out of them, and I'm gonna help you do it.
Only those without sin may throw the first stone, but no one said anything about throwing the first roundhouse kick. So we think Jesus manages to be a solid B-tier character, sometimes bringing a little religious commentary, while sometimes just being a straight-up punk. I'm sure his dad is so proud. And speaking of his dad, next up is the big man upstairs himself, God.
Oh, holy crap, that's still pouring itself. Oh, wow. Oh, that's amazing. I've never seen anyone do that. You want to go out later?
And if you thought Jesus was portrayed poorly, well, by comparison, God makes Jesus look like, well, Jesus.
Ah, come on, baby. It's my birthday.
No.
God is often portrayed as sleazy, self-centered, and a big jerk most of the time. Some have found the satirization funny, while others have found it offensive. I get both sides, but that doesn't mean this character hasn't been funny.
Jesus Christ! What? Get the Escalade. We're out of here.
But the character of God is mostly just used for cutaways and is hardly ever used in an actual meaningful way, so we think we're gonna put him in the C tier. That's not gonna get us smited, is it? And hopefully my next ranking doesn't get me incarcerated, because now we're talking about the Honorable Judge Dignified Q. Blackman.
They have 100 lawyers, and you tried to bribe me with a subscription to Grape Soda today.
The judge presides over seemingly every case in Quahog, from small civil cases to heavy-duty murder trials. But if he wants to make a real difference, he needs to arrest that Kool-Aid man already.
Can I ask everyone to please stop saying "oh no" in this courtroom? Because the Kool-Aid guy's gonna keep showing up.
But the judge doesn't really have much more of a character outside of that, never having a prominent role in any episode, really. So we've got to sentence him to the D tier, where hopefully he can move up with good behavior and develop an actual personality. But now we move on to someone with a bit more personality, Jake Tucker, Tom Tucker's son, who has quite a peculiar birth defect.
We're gonna get the video camera out and we'll make our own show. I don't wanna! Yes, you do.
So Jake is a bratty troublemaker who is obviously compensating for that whole face thing. How does that even work? Is it hereditary? A mutation?
I'm with Jake now. Right, Jake?
Maybe someday we'll get married and you can go up on me!
He hasn't done a whole lot in the series, and while the concept behind the character is at least funny, we still feel like this is a D-tier character. Hopefully this realization doesn't turn his whole world right side up. But there is a character who's actually been more than one character, and that's Bruce.
Hey, everybody. Today's the big day. That's all, Your Honor.
Bruce is the man of 1,000 jobs and another 1,000 voice roles. If there's a hole in the town's workforce, you just know Bruce is gonna fill it. What? Why are you snickering?
Oh my God, Bruce, you do.
Nah, that's part of the crew. I mostly just powder the ding-dongs.
You just know filing his taxes is a nightmare. But Bruce also has a habit of lending his voice to several animals throughout the series too, from a shark to a bee to a xenomorph.
I like to eat people from other planets, especially y'all. I like to eat you with my little mouth too.
So no matter where you are in Quahog, you're bound to hear his soft, soothing voice. Gonna have to go with a B for Bruce here, as he's become a far more regular character over the years and manages to be quite entertaining with his happy-go-lucky attitude. But a character who's a bit more on the depressive side is Joe's son Kevin Swanson, who does manage to be entertaining on occasion.
My parents don't like me listening to that stuff, but I do anyway, because I am not a robot!
Oh yeah, that's a Joe Swanson kid alright. Truth be told, Kevin was a pretty cardboard character for most of the earlier seasons, so the show decided to do something about it.
And whatever happened to your son, Kevin?
You died in Iraq.
Sad.
And that's a surprisingly tragic storyline that Family Guy decided to tackle. And I'm sure they'll do it with care and respect.
Hey, is there room at that table for one more?
Oh, false alarm, he's just a big fat liar. From then on, Kevin's wartime PTSD had drastically affected his personality, making him a bit of a loose cannon.
Hey guys, can you hold my phone and point it over this way? I want to live stream my...
Yeah, so his further appearances managed to be a bit unhinged, managing to be funny in a pretty dark way. He's not a super prominent character, but it's definitely more interesting than the white bread we got earlier on. So this soldier is gonna get a C rank. But can an inanimate object be a character? Well, Wikipedia seems to think so, so we're gonna include Rupert.
We'll talk about it when you want to talk about it. I don't blame you.
Rupert is Stewie's trusty teddy bear who has served many purposes. Friend, lover, confidant, lover, secret weapon, lover, bear, lover. The bear wears many hats, even outside of their role-playing.
I love you. I value you. We're not escalating. It's fine. I'll see you in the morning.
It's honestly been a toss-up over who Stewie considers his best friend, the bear or Brian. To be fair, Brian doesn't reciprocate Stewie's weird fantasies, but actually Rupert might not either.
Hey, everybody, just so you know, I'm straight.
Dang, so he just has to grit his teeth and bear it? Rupert might be the most tragic character of this whole roster. But there's no denying the joy and happiness he brings Stewie, often being the catalyst for several adventures. For that, we think Rupert can be considered a B-tier character, even if we think a cry for help sits behind those lifeless black eyes. But perhaps there's been no character embodying a cry for help more than Bonnie Swanson, Joe's raspy, less than thrilled wife.
Will you put a bag on that thing?
Yeah, it's clear the Swanson family has seen better days. Originally, Bonnie and Joe were actually a loving model couple, but time and Joe's accident seemed to have weighed heavily on the woman.
I'm 46, and all I've ever done is take care of Joe.
Which brings on those funny little fantasies about Joe having another accident. You know, the kind that moves his body from being in a chair to a wooden box in the ground.
I'll take it.
Joe might want to start sleeping like a locked-up bike from now on. But outside of that, Bonnie has also become what I guess you could call Lois's best friend. Whether or not they actually like each other is still up in the air.
I hope that mascara burns your eyes out. How's that cheap wine hitting?
So honestly, most of Bonnie's main stories revolve around her cheating on or wanting to cheat on Joe, so we can't really say they're the most fun. But she has some enjoyable moments, and her dark characterization isn't exactly the worst. We think she can squeeze her way into the B tier, as she's at least one of the more interesting female characters on the show. Something you cannot say for Loretta Brown, Cleveland's grumpy former wife.
We have had it with his disrespect for women. We're petitioning the city to have him removed from the neighborhood.
The most worthwhile thing Loretta has ever done in the show is cheat on Cleveland with Quagmire. Which isn't really that impressive, because now that I think about it, a lot of the cast has slept with Quagmire.
What was that? Shut up and put some more of that sugar in my bowl.
Cleveland would divorce her and would go on to get his own show. They never had to address Loretta again, but just for fun, they decided to kill her off, because why not?
Oh, God! Wait, what's that? Oh, look at her gross boobs.
They didn't even need to do that, but they wanted to. Unfortunately, we don't think the character will be missed, as we didn't really care for her when she was with us. Gonna have to be a D tier from us. And another character that was killed off from the show was Jonathan Weed, Peter's former boss back when he used to work at a toy factory.
Peter is an adequate assembly line worker, but you'll be happy to know our company does not pay him to think.
So that means Peter now has 2 dead bosses and 2 that are MIA. Better watch your back, Preston. We didn't learn too much about Mr. Weed in his short stint, although there are some assumptions to be made about his preferences.
I shall call you Eduardo.
But before we could learn more about him, he was taken from us. Rest easy, sweet prince. I at least hope that dinner roll tasted good. Even though he was only around for barely 3 seasons, we do think Mr. Weed had the most personality out of all of Peter's bosses, and it's a shame we didn't get to see more of him. We think he deserves a C for what could have been. But we saw what would become of Diane Simmons, the former co-anchor of Channel 5 News turned mass murderer.
Oh, this is so awkward. You all know my name, and I've never heard of any of you.
So Diane was the broadcast partner of Tom Tucker. They may have hated each other, they may have loved each other. Honestly, those feelings are one and the same.
Well, Diane, that last report was so good, I think you deserve a spanking.
Oh, Tom, I don't think your wife would appreciate that.
But over time, we would learn that Diane was self-centered, cold, and often concerned about her looks and appearance.
I can't hire any of these girls. They're all too pretty. Their breasts are too perky.
So is it really a surprise that she went on a murderous rampage when she was threatened with being replaced? Honestly, we should have seen the signs long ago.
I watched my career and my love life crumble, and I wasn't gonna just stand by and take it.
A shame she had to be killed off so quickly. We would have loved an overarching plot of someone murdering smaller characters off over the course of a season. But still, her send-off treated her like the real deal, and we gotta respect that. So we think Diane is gonna go right in the B tier. And up next is Diane's former broadcast partner, Tom Tucker, the suave voice of Quahog News.
Diane, didn't your first husband blow his brains out?
Oh, God!
Tucker is a narcissistic man who only cares about 2 things: his mustache and the man that's attached to it.
Hey, I recognize you from the television. You're Tom Tucker.
If there's a breaking news story that conveniently fits into the narrative of the story, there's a good chance it's going to be Tom reporting on it.
Tragedy strikes close to home as a car crash near my apartment claims the life of a local teen girl.
But despite all his confidence, he's still shown to be self-conscious when shown up by a bigger star or someone younger and more handsome. But hey, you don't see him going on a killing spree about it.
I'm Dallas Portland.
And I'm T. Homie with the news in your mouth!
A typical Tom Tucker episode sees his narcissism come back to bite him on the butt, but when the camera isn't solely focused on him, you can still rely on him to deliver some of the weirdest news headlines you've ever heard.
Can a woman really be mayor, or will she just bleed all over the city? Stay with us.
Whether it be in a small role or as a main character, Tom is a pretty fun character regardless, so we think he's gonna go in the A tier. And now we move into the main cast, kicking things off with handicapped policeman Joe Swanson.
Let's do it! Rock that world! Rock that world!
So this is where things get a bit tricky. In a previous video, we talked about how much each character has changed over the years. So just to clarify, we'll be ranking these characters based on their overall impact on the show, rather than just how they're portrayed now or before. Because let's be real, this Joe is not the only kind of Joe this show has seen.
You know what DC stands for? Dumb Congress.
The Joe we think of is one that channels his rage and disability into fighting crime, even if he's shown time and time again that he maybe shouldn't have a gun.
Oh crap, he's dead! I think he bled out. I must have hit the femoral artery.
Just kick him into Mexico.
But we even like the more depressive side of Joe too. Sure, it does get dark at times, but I'm from the bottom of the ocean. I was born in the dark. This is just regular humor to me.
I have no idea what you're pointing at, Joe. You gotta meet us halfway.
Whether he's a punching bag or doing the punching, Joe episodes manage to be some of my favorites outside of the main family. I do wish he would scream more, but Patrick Warburton's vocal cords are probably fried after 2 decades of playing this guy.
I said I'm not hungry! Where is it now, huh? Where is it now?
So even though Joe has mellowed out a ton since his earlier days, we still think that overall, Joe is an A-tier character, as he's a lightning rod for dark humor, oozing machismo, and competent badassery all rolled into one guy on rollers. And now we roll into who many consider to be the greatest friend of Peter, and that's resident woman lover and fine line walker Glenn Quagmire.
Ooh, ee, ooh, ah, ah, ting, tang, walla, walla, bing, bang. Ooh, ee, ooh, ah, ah, ting, tang, walla, walla, bing, bang.
Much has changed over the years, but one thing remains certain. If it walks like a lady and talks like a lady, Quagmire is all over it. Unfortunately, their being into it isn't a prerequisite for him.
You're first.
Mom!
I like where this is going. Giggity, giggity, giggity.
Quagmire is sort of the ringmaster of raunchiness of the show, but he's also probably one of the most capable out of the friend group thanks to him being a seasoned pilot.
Well, I think you're gonna flip for it! Yeah!
A good thing too, because keeping him sealed away from everyone on board is probably the best move. And how much do you want to bet he chose this profession just because he gets to sit in a cockpit?
We've got some very strong headwinds, giggity. Flight attendants, please prepare for takeoff.
But over the years, Glenn's become a bit more of a cynic, having a very small amount of tolerance for even his friend's stupidity.
This is an insult to anyone who cares about cooking. Either you leave the network or I do.
Luckily, he's got an outlet to channel all that anger. Not yoga or meditating, but belittling Brian at every chance he can. Sounds healthy, doesn't it?
not a cat.
Quagmire is an icon in his own right, with his wacky antics and his popular nonsensical catchphrase. He's often regarded as many people's favorite character, when you choose to ignore that he's perhaps one of the most criminal out of the main cast. Even still, the guy has gotta be an S, right? Even though he's changed a bit through the years, he's still one funny horn dog. After all. And rounding out the friend group is Cleveland Brown, who at one time was known as the soft-spoken but wise one out of the bunch.
Peter, you don't want to get involved with the mob.
His slow manner of speaking really gets you energized, huh? Truth be told, Cleveland didn't really do a whole lot of anything on the show other than being the token black character.
I should really pick up that milk now before I forget.
You son of a
But that all changed when the unthinkable happened. Fox decided to reward their 10th most popular character with his very own show.
Doggone it! That's it! No more! I'm tired of being kicked around by this world!
Cleveland has become stricken with legit main character syndrome, and you know what? It's actually the best thing that could have happened to him. If Cleveland could find a way to carry a whole show, then you really can accomplish anything. An inspiration for a generation.
And Federline's definitely not gonna live here. Ah, sat on my nuts!
But when Cleveland returned to Family Guy, he only came back with about half of the personality that he had in his own show. There's only enough room for one lazy, overweight, alcoholic dad in this town, but there's apparently always room for the designated black friend.
You know, not a single person stopped watching because you left.
A man shot down in his prime far too soon. I mean, he's still alive, but sometimes you have to question if he is because of how little he gets used. We do like Cleveland, especially the Cleveland Show version of him, but we don't think we can put him any higher than a B on this list. He can be fun, but he just doesn't have the impact on the show that he probably deserves. But if there's one character that probably doesn't deserve the treatment they get, it's gotta be Meg, the Griffin's eldest child and public enemy number 1 for no good reason.
Everybody spit on Meg!
Stop! Stop! You got stop!
Whether it be from her family or the general public, Meg is pretty poorly treated every single day. Did she do something? Maybe people got mad that she tried out a new voice after season 1 and didn't like it?
Hi, Dad.
Well, I guess she had it coming. But all this abuse has kinda awakened an unhinged side to Meg, who has a few episodes revolving around her going off the deep end.
I can't believe you went to all this trouble.
Well, you know me.
I don't want to say I like seeing Meg get mercilessly bullied, but if it means it leads to her getting back at her family from time to time, then hey, keep the pain train rolling.
My house now,
However, later seasons have kinda reeled back on the Meg hate, and instead they just let Meg be one big weirdo. Honestly, sometimes it's so cringy that I can't help but like it.
Bruce, how we doing on those Goldens packets? I got my mind on my mustard and my mustard on my mind.
Oh, and she's also like a star athlete now? How did Meg become one of the most successful and capable members of the family?
And Meg Griffin wins it! That's it for us at Adam West High.
Honestly, we've really liked this newer version of Meg. It taps into her more psycho side, which was always a highlight of past seasons, but she continues to surprise with her surprising skills in things like getaway driving and Olympic biathlon. So yeah, we think Meg deserves an A rank for all her troubles. Keep it weird, girl. But, you know, from a distance, please. But the weirdness doesn't stop with Meg, as the eldest son, Chris, is plenty weird in his own right.
I can't live by society's rules either!
Chris is kind of the embodiment of hormonal teen boys everywhere. Look, we've all gone through it, but it doesn't make it any less horrifying.
What's that, some kind of board?
It's Chris's blanket.
See, I hate that I know what that's in reference to, but believe it or not, this little weirdo may be the closest thing this family has to a heart of gold. It might be made out of fool's gold, but you know, it's close enough.
Living in that family, we both have pretty crappy lives, and if we're gonna survive it, we can't turn on each other.
He may actually be the one who loves the family the most, if you can believe it. Well, everyone who isn't named Brian.
Anna, I'm here with my dog. He's not feeling well.
You.
But unlike Meg, Chris's weirdness doesn't always lead to the best episodes. I've found that he's much more enjoyable in minor roles rather than taking center stage.
Hey guys, we got company. No nude wandering.
Well, so much for full frontal Fridays.
He's certainly not a bad character by any stretch, but we do think he's probably our least favorite of the main family. We think a B ranking is perfectly suitable for a boy of his talents.
Hey baby,
I want to party with that ice cream cone. $5 and I'll sit on it.
But a lack of talent can also be funny, which is why we get a lot of enjoyment out of Brian, the family's opinionated and self-destructive dog.
Come on, you know you want a drink.
Yeah, come on, Brian, drink us.
What a journey this dog has been on. Originally, he had the fun juxtaposition of potentially being the most human out of the family. To be fair, most of the family isn't exactly human. They're probably a little closer to devils.
You were all working together just fine, but then you won that stupid trophy. You put some shiny hunk of metal before your own friendships.
Brian was also the most cultured out of the group, enjoying the fine arts and left-leaning politics. But nobody likes to be preached at for too long. That's why church service is just an hour, and that's why the show decided to reel back Brian's intelligence to make him look dumber.
Your play panders to the lowest common denominator, Brian, and it doesn't even do that well.
Shut up!
So now he's gone from an intellectual to an intellectual poser, which was honestly probably for the best. The less he looks like a Seth MacFarlane self-insert, the better.
But I've read things other people have written about the things you've written, and I do not approve of the things I've read from others about the things they've read from you.
While Brian has been the source of many emotional moments over the years, I do think he's just as enjoyable as the butt of the joke nowadays.
Oh yeah? Would an opportunistic piece of crap call his boat this?
Yes he would. But he would also find himself in the S ranking for characters. Whether it be his bad takes or his genuine moments of emotion, Brian is easily one of the best things to come out of the show. Hey, just because we don't like him doesn't mean we can't like him. And a character we've grown to like more over the years is Lois, matriarch of the Griffin family.
I'm alive!
Originally, Lois was mostly just a caricature of the modern housewife. She looks after the house, the kids, and also has to rein in her husband all at once. All while doing the math in her head to figure out how much she'd get in the divorce. You know, like most happy couples.
My baby is drunk.
No, I'm not. What? Oh, him? Oh, yeah, he's a real lightweight.
But when the show began to lean into the anxieties that come with that kind of life, Lois really started to stand out to us. The crushing realization of the loss of your passions or the overwhelming boredom that comes with life are just a few ideas of note. Gotta say, it really resonated with a clam who spends most of its days watching and writing about a cartoon.
Why didn't it work? Why am I still not happy? What have I done?
I'll tell you what you've done. Become a lot more of an enjoyable character. The regular old housewife shtick has been done before, and I love it when one of them gets to be a little unhinged. I tried explaining that on my dating profile, and let me tell you, the results have not been ideal.
Really, I should be thanking you for reminding me of who I am. A secret little psycho with very little to lose.
There's still glimpses of the responsible housewife in her character, but seeing her work through the frustrations that come with life has been very fun. We think she definitely belongs in the A tier for being one of the more layered characters in the show, even if that sometimes gets forgotten when her whole personality becomes groceries.
When a mom is shunned by groceries, she has nothing.
And if you want to talk layered, it doesn't get more layered than an evil, genius, flamboyant baby like Stewie Griffin.
Now there's a large hunting knife under each one of your seats. On my command, I want you to...
Yeah, Stewie has had quite the identity crisis. Some people want him to be a maniacal despot hell-bent on ruling the world, and others just want him to be a silly little baby. Well, to quote an old taco shell commercial,
¿Por qué no los dos?
In my eyes, there's room for both sides of Stewie. Far be it from me to stifle a child trying to follow their dreams.
I feel right, Brian. I feel right.
And it's not like Stewie ever really abandoned that edgier side to him. Traces of the evil genius can still be found in modern episodes, whether it be through his science experiments or simple brutality.
I envy you, Stewie. I used to be innocent like you. I've killed people.
Also, Stewie's responsible for some of the best episodes in the whole series. Road to the Multiverse, Back to the Pilot, Stewie Kills Lois, and many more are all Stewie-centric stories. I guess you could say the poster child of the series is the actual child.
Yes! Score! Score!
Stewie is an easy S-tier character, being one of the most memorable members of the family that continues to be the highlight of the series as the seasons go on. And that finally brings us to the big man himself, the guy who happens to have a family, Peter Griffin.
Kneel before Christ!
Once a misguided but lovable family man, Peter's personality has been cranked into overdrive, often making him an inconsiderate, aggressive, and deplorable human being.
What are you looking at? It's a cartoon!
And that's why we love him. I do get the complaints about him being too mean-spirited, and that does happen, but usually the episodes clearly frame what he's doing as bad, and he should be punished for it, or try to make amends.
I just wanted to make you laugh and cry. You see, I'm a family guy.
Besides, there's not really any saints in this show. I mean, did you see earlier how God and Jesus were portrayed? Everyone in the show can be pretty terrible, and Peter manages to do it in a pretty over-the-top way that really does make him hard to hate.
Hold on a sec. Hey, pal, stop talking while I'm talking, all right? You want a sandwich full of knuckles?
In truth, Peter's the cornerstone of the series, with a lot of the humor and jokes being centered around his characterization. He's the measuring stick every character stands to be measured by, delivering on some of the show's most memorable lines and moments that have 100% altered my sense of humor and potentially melted my brain. For the better, I hope.
It was my understanding that everyone had heard.
Heard what?
Brian, don't!
Oh, well, a bird. But birds are white.
Love him or hate him, he is Family Guy, and that's why we gotta stick him right up top in the S tier. Phew, and that's the end of our list. There are way more characters that could have been included, but we'd say this is a pretty exhaustive list. I know I'm exhausted. Let us know what you think of the rankings, and let us know who you think are the greatest Family Guy characters ever. And as always, be sure to leave a like if you enjoyed this video, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already.